Hi, happy waking big. Welcome to Poetry and Prophecies. Haha. Oh, sorry. This fucking thing. God bless America. Jesus smashing bullshit. I want to do it. Ah, okay. Sorry I'm late. I did do this a bunch of times already. I did. So, grab your keep you alive juice and take your pills because it is time for some poetry and prophecies. Well, yeah, no, we're just still calling it poetry and prophecy because why not? And this chapter is a chapter to make me feel bad for Dustin. It's like this guy knew me or something. Happy the husband of a good wife. Oh my God. The days of his life will be doubled. Poor Dawson. A loyal wife brings joy to her husband. He will finish his years in peace. Does that count the third time? The third time I am decent. A good wife is a generous gift bestowed upon him who fears the Lord. Well, that's why Dustin got me for a wife. Whether rich or poor, his heart is content, a smile ever on his face. If Dustin smiled, I would die. There are three things I dread: Nikki, Nikki, and Nikki. I'm just kidding. A fourth, which terrifies me. Oh my God. Public slander, gathering of a mob, and false accusations are harder to bear than death. This is everything that's happening to Trump. Yeah, we need to pray for that guy. A wife jealous of another wife is heartache and mourning. I wish the fuck I was. That no. Everyone feels the lash of her tongue. This, yes. Yes. A wicked wife is like a chafing yoke. Chaffing yoke. Taking hold of her is like grasping a scorpion. Yeah. Yeah. That's a Nikki thing. A drunken wife arouses anger, for she does not hide her shame. If you ever want to know who a drunk girl at a party is, it's probably you. And that is definitely me. I am so embarrassing drunk. Oh my God. By her haughty stare and her eyelids, an unchasted wife can be recognized. Keep a strict watch over an unruly wife, lest finding an opportunity she use it. Oh, yes, I am forever grounded. I'm not allowed to leave my house by myself. Yeah. Watch out for her impudent eye, so her disrespectful eye, and do not be surprised if she betrays you. I'm retired, but this used to be real life. Yep. A thirsty traveler opens his mouth and drinks any water from nearby, She sits down before every tent peg and opens her quiver for every arrow. A gracious wife delights her husband. Her thoughtfulness puts flesh on his bones. Or he'll be like, quit bothering me, you're too nice. You're bothering me, I'm doing stuff. Her thought. A prudent wife is a gift from the Lord. Nothing is worth more than her self-discipline. A modest wife is a supreme blessing. No scales can weigh the worth of her chastity. The sun rising in the Lord's heaven. The beauty of a good wife in her well-ordered home. Does it count if I know where everything is? Oh my God. It's not well ordered, but I know where everything is. Does that count? Because when I clean, I lose shit, like my wallet. The light which shines above the holy lampstand. A beautiful face on a stately figure. Is that a big woman? Golden columns on silver bases. So her shapely legs and steady feet. Is that a big-legged woman? Because Led Zeppelin said, a big-legged woman ain't got no soul. Dangers to integrity and friendship. Okay. 2 things bring grief to my heart. A third arouses my anger. The wealthy reduced to want. The intelligent held in contempt. And those who pass from righteousness to sin, the Lord prepares them for the sword. Okay. A merchant can hardly keep from wrongdoing, nor can a shopkeeper stay free from sin. Okay, hold on. The rest of this is in 27 for some reason. Okay, so a shopkeeper can hardly stay free from sin. For the sake of profit, they may sin, and the struggle for wealth blinds the eyes. That is the end of 26. What the fuck is happening in life? Okay. So now we're going to Wisdom 19. Okay. This is the last chapter. Oh my God. It's the last chapter. So exciting. Okay. So, Wisdom, chapter 19, end. But merciless wrath assailed the wicked until the end, for God knew beforehand what they were yet to do. That though they themselves agreed to departure and anxiously sent them on their way, they would regret it and pursue them. Hold on. But merciless wrath assailed the wicked until the end. for God knew beforehand what they were to do. Although they themselves agreed to the departure and anxiously sent them on their way, they would regret it and pursue them. Okay, so this is the Egyptians, right? The Egyptians pursued the Israelites after they had set them free because because God killed all the babies. For while they were still engaged in funeral rites and mourning at the burials of the dead, they adopted another senseless plan. Those whom they had driven out with entreaties, they now pursued as fugitives. For a compulsion appropriate to this sending drew them on, and made them forget what had befallen them, that they might complete the torments of their punishment. And your people might experience a glorious journey, while those others met an extraordinary death. For all creation in its several kinds was being made over anew, serving your commands that your children might be preserved unharmed. The cloud overshadowed their camp, and out of what had been water, dry land was seen emerging out of the Red Sea and impeded the road, and a grassy plain out of the mighty flood. What? And out of what had been water, dry land was seen emerging. Yeah, but that didn't happen though. Yeah, but over this crossed the whole nation, sheltered by your hand, and they beheld stupendous wonders. For they ranged about like horses and leapt like lambs, praising you, Lord, their deliverer. For they still mindful of what had happened in their sojourn. How instead of young animals, the land brought forth gnats, and instead of the fishes of the river, swarmed with countless frogs. Yeah, this is all over the place because he's not telling these stories in order. And for what they also, and later they saw also a new kind of bird. When prompted by desire, they asked for pleasant foods. So pheasants were a new kind of bird at that time? I don't know. When prompted by desire, they asked for pleasant foods. They did not ask. They complained and bitched. That's what they did. They complained and bitched because they're ungrateful. Stop it, Nikki. For those, okay, it was quail, not pheasants. For to appease them, quail came to them from the sea. Artistic embellishment, Nikki, shut up. And the punishments came upon the sinners, not without forewarnings from the violence of the thunderbolts. For they justly suffered for their own misdeeds. Good, good. Seeing as you're making these people look all nice, they justly suffered. since they treated their guests with more grievous hatred. For those did not receive unfamiliar visitors, for these were enslaving, beneficent guests. And not that only, but what punishment was to be theirs, since they received strangers unwillingly. Yet these, after welcoming them with festivities, oppressed with awful toils those who had shared with them the same rights, and they were struck with blindness, as those who had been at the doors of the righteous man, when surrounded by yawning darkness, each sought the entrance of his own door. For the elements in ever-changing harmony, like strings of the harp, produce new melody, while the flow of music steadily persists, and this can be perceived exactly from a review of what took place. So, self-reflection. For land creatures were changed into water creatures, and those that swam went over on land. Fire and water maintained its own strength, and water forgot its quenching nature. Flames, by contrast, neither consumed the flesh of perishable animals that went about in them, nor melted the ice-like, quick melting of ambrosial food. For every way, Lord, you magnified and glorified your people. Unfailing, you stood by them every time and circumstance, and they still treat you like shit. Even to this day, they treat you like shit, big guy. They sure do. Anyway, thank you for watching. I love you and have the greatest day ever. I swear to God, the greatest day ever.